It's your girl BKKY on the BKKY show. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Hope you're good. How was your day? Yeah, how was your day? Today you listen. It's a Wednesday evening, and you're listening to this on a Wednesday evening. Okay, well, I'm not recording on Wednesday evening, but you're listening to this on a Wednesday evening. That's the most important thing, right? So, how was your day? Hope you had a good day. Did you go to work, school, church? And how was that? Was it good? Was it a good day? Was it a bad day? Was it a okay day? Was it a somehow day? Um, my day today that I'm recording was chilled. Nothing much. Ah, guys. Oh, yes. I have gist for you people. Let me gist you. Should I gist you? I want to gist you. So, guys, I went out on a date. I know I've been saying I went out on a date. I'm going out on multiple dates, and I'm not coming back to the to give you guys the final gist. But this date, it was actually a good date. The guy came late. He did come late, but guess what? He brought flowers. Baby girl was just smiling so. Oh my god! I smiled so much. I was like, Emily Carter. People that don't understand you, but nah, maybe I mean now let me be this. I mean, I just I don't know how to translate it. But guy, I was so excited. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry for coming late." And he brought flowers. I'm like, hey, nah, maybe it is. Well, yeah, the date itself was good, guys. Do you know? So one of the first dates that I didn't like that I didn't tell you guys was that um the guy spoke rudely to the customer, or rather the waiter that attended to us. I didn't like that. I'm like, what is this rubbish? But I was not shy, but I was shy on his behalf. Like I was so embarrassed that I was like, I should leave the. It was doing me like I should leave the restaurant almost immediately because of how he interacted with the person. But this guy, the person that served us, it was so jovial. It was so nice to there. I'm like, oh my god, is this the man I'll take it to my mommy's house? Okay, yes, I'm being dramatic now. Calm down, calm down. Okay, well, I don't know if it's the man I'm taking to my mommy's house, but the date was really nice. It was good. He's a fine guy. He's a fine guy. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw him on pictures, I was like, Kibele, what is this? What is this? What is this? Well, clearly it's not like it was a bad thing, but it was more like he had so many wings on his face. So he was giving hey, this one is a bad boy, you. But no, like he was a sweetheart. It was just a sweet person. And I'm not going to lie. Yes, you can say I'm blushing. I'm blushing too much. Let me not lie. But breathing, breathe out. Calm down. He was chilled, sha, on the date. I don't know if he's going to enter anything new, but he was chilled on the date itself. That's the most important thing. Yeah? Yeah. Anyways, guys, so I've been thinking about different things on how to obviously engage this podcast to make it better, bigger, and more conversational because I don't want to be, it's only me that just blah, 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 blah. Just yarning my own opinion, and yarning my own experience, and yarning my own individual opinion and personality. Yeah. Even if it's called BUKKY, it doesn't have to be a BUKKY experience all around. Yeah. So that is why I'm bringing out my amazing, my lovely, my, oh my God. See, let me not lie. If I want to start telling you about the story of this person I want to bring out, the way I'm introducing this person is giving pastor vibe. You know, you know why? It reminds me of anytime my pastor wants to invite a guest minister, and how you will first praise the person. But at least one thing I know that my pastor taught me is honor people. Honor people. So yes, I'm honoring my friend. My amazing. The one and only. The talented. He's talented. I'm not going to lie. He's talented. He's talented. The one and only Harley. But he's going to introduce himself by himself. So guys, give it up. Oh, Harley. Hi, Harley. So introduce yourself to the people.
Hi. Hi, Buki. Hi, everyone. Um, ah, Introducing myself. Okay, I'm Harley HR. So that we're not going to the like long stuff of surnames and stuff. I'm Harley. I I am into design, creativity. I'm a creative person generally. Uh, I like fun things. I love weird things. I wish I am paid for every time anybody calls me weird and stuff like that. So yeah.
Guys, let me just tell you, anytime I want to know the updates on the new AI, whatever new AI sheets people are coming up with, do you know my go-to person? Harry. Like Harry is just on top of anything AI. Like I feel like I'm like, oh Harry, hi Harry. I can't count how many number of times I've called Harry. Oh Harry, please give me this prompt. Oh hi Harry, make this prompt better for me. Like guy, at this point, at some point, you're supposed to be like, Nicola, I'm charging you for every time you call me. I'm serious, but that's the truth, to be honest.
Like I said, the moment I have a lawyer to handle those things, my lawyer will take it up from there.
God, I beg. Guy, meet Ali. Ali is an amazing person. And one of the games that was given to me by an annoying company that I worked for. But yeah. I had a lot of gifts that came with that company. But it's fine. So guys, we're going to be discussing something really a bit tiny bit weird. I don't know, maybe I would say weird or not, but I would say or I believe that it is something that a lot of people experience, but we don't talk about it enough. I know it is not sex, please. It's it is something that I would say that from I would say that maybe when I was 25, you know how they say your frontal lobe is fully formed, right? I would say that from 25 is as if my frontal lobe was truly fully formed, but it came with other excesses that I think maybe the excesses had always been there, but it now became way louder in my head. And what am I talking about? Basically, do you hear voices in your head? Yes, I know it sounds dramatic or sounds weird, but that's the truth. Like I know a lot of people that have not been able to. I know a lot of people that can't sit still in a quiet environment because they don't want to hear the voices in their head, or basically they don't want to hear the things that they are being worried about, or random things, basically. But and I don't want to be like as if I'm the only one, whether I'm a weird motherfucker. Yeah, and it's just me that oh, Bukola is weird, so weird that she has voices in her head. Maybe she's running mad. No, I'm not running mad. I'm perfectly out. But and I think that's why I haven't brought Ali because I feel like Ali is this kind of person that I think is really gonna do so well with this topic because I have a feeling that is it that is his environment. I feel like he plays there. I don't know how to explain it.
Wow. We are calling you mad now.
No,
Noted, noted.
no, me can call you mad. Who am I? How dare I cannot. But wait, so let's just start from a very calm vibe. Do you hear voices in your head? Or am I the one that is crazy?
Oh no, I do. You see, hmm, so I do. However, it's controlled. Does that make sense? Can I like elaborate more? Because I
Yeah,
feel like
definitely.
yeah, so there's like this whole thing. Um And I remember a particular occasion where myself and my friend had like this whole, I don't know what I'll call it. So probably like a casual date thing with um two young ladies like that. And in the whole process, we actually like got to this topic for whatever reason, right? And all of us seated there, except my close friends, had experienced voice in our head. And he could not just relate. And it was very, very strange, to be honest. And like, oh wow, that is nice. You must be living the life, right? However, over the years, for me, I think I have come to a point of number one, understanding, categorizing, and actually like harnessing the voices in my head in a way. Because early experiences of voices in my head was like early teen years, like early teen years. And you know, you're just a child growing up, but then you're also hearing things, right? And the way I'm saying it might sound like, oh my god, it's like all those stuff that we watch in Nollywood movies where someone is hearing voice, the person will not leave his house and be walking in the streets, kind of
Yeah,
situation,
it's not.
right? but but not it's not necessarily as scary as that, right? It's just like I call it like frequencies or radio, like several versions of you or several possibilities of you based on your maybe level of exposure or amount of information that you've crammed into your head and stuff. And so various versions are just like they have like opinions towards whatever it is you are doing or whatever scenario that you are finding yourself at that point in time. And this constitutes like the voices. But for me, at some point, I think when I was in SS2 or 3, um, for audiences that may not know what SS is, that's like senior secondary, high school basically. Um, I basically like limited it and let's say categorized all like thousands or millions of voices into 7 basically. And people who are friends with me probably would have heard me, like close friends would have heard me talk about, oh, the seven Harleys or whatever. It's basically like me funneling those extras into like distinctive color forms that okay, if I want to hear if if I'm going to be hearing holy things, I know like okay, everything related to holiness, for instance, is coming from this direction, or everything related to scary stuff is coming from this direction. I'm not just hearing random, random, random thoughts. I'm hearing like very, very, very fine-tuned, final, conversational stuff that I can then either banter with or like consider kind of stuff. But yeah, um, I think that's all I can say for now regarding that. As an intro.
Yeah, to be fair, I feel like yours is really refined. I'm not even going to like it's like you have actually figured out how to control it, which is a good thing. Um, in my own experience, I would say that I don't think I would say that, oh, this is maybe there's one color in my mind and all of that. I don't think I would say that. But
Yeah.
when I was small, maybe like junior secondary school or whatnot, I know that I don't know if this is weird to every other person, but whatever. I every time my and maybe that's where my love for maybe conversation or whatnot started from. I tell myself stories. Like I'll be and what I was trying to say is every Saturday my parents are like, oh, my mom major is like, oh, go and watch the toilet and all of those things. or go and sweep, basic normal Saturday chores that you're supposed to do. And
Yeah.
I'm doing all of those things, but to keep myself happy in that situation because I don't like what I'm doing, I would tell myself stories. I'll tell myself stories about one fine girl that is in a new school and she's and other girls don't like her and some other girls like her. And I would give
Oh,
a full detailed Nollywood movie or Hollywood movie, whatever Bukola Wood movie at this point in my head, just so that to keep myself. And I would detail it. Oh, our mom came to pick her up. Our daddy came to keep like kilele. Like that's that. And this is all playing inside my head. Like sometimes maybe it will get so much interested that I'll even start speaking out to myself. And there's a point I feel like my sister has come and like, who are you talking to? I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody. What's your business? Leave me alone. She's like, are you fine? I'm fine. Go, go on, leave me alone. But all of those things,
you're lucky somebody did not catch you and say, ah, no, carry her to psych ward.
I
Or
know, right?
carry her to go and be delivered with kill.
Like, I'm serious. I'm not even going to like. It was weird, but I think even there are sometimes that may randomly. I think even as an adult, there are sometimes that maybe I'm thinking about something too deep. Not necessarily thinking about something too deep, but just thinking generally, and I'll just speak out. And somebody will say, "Oh, are you talking to me?" I'm like, "Ah, no mind, I'm talking to myself." And it's just normal to me because I'm like, maybe my brain circuit is like, when it's overeating or a minute that we need to speak out.
It's interesting, especially the telling yourself stories one, because as you were talking about that, I didn't remember how at some point, I think this was like after secondary. So this is at the point where, quote unquote, I think even before I had something similar, but I'm not sure. But I can vividly remember, like by the time I was in early university, that was like when I became very conscious of it. And sometimes it still happens till now, where, for instance, maybe I had something I wanted to talk to you about, yeah? And um, you know, on and off, maybe I should text or call you, or maybe saying, oh, let's meet up somewhere and talk about this. I have like a simulation that is going to run in my head, right? I always call it a simulation because that simulation basically is like, it's basically still me telling you all the things I want to tell you, right? But then here it is featuring a imagined version of you,
Yeah.
detailed, right? And we would have the entire conversation that I want to have with you. We'll have the full conversation, and you would give me your responses based off the conversation we are having in my head, right? And most times after the whole stuff, because now I already have like the end point, I already know like, okay, this is where this person is at, and this is what this person is going to respond to me. I start feeling discouraged to actually talk to the real you. And the reason why I started feeling discouraged was, at first, I would then have the conversation with the people, right? And the reality of the conversation, that is the real life conversation, and the simulation conversation, is like aligned to an extent, like up to 70-80%. So most of your responses, or like the final verdict of the whole thing that I'm taking away, is like the same thing with what was simulated in my head.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was like, there's actually no point having a conversation with these people. I don't have
But you
my
see,
simulation in my head. So when it started becoming a problem was sometimes, and the human mind and the human brain is very amazing, scary and amazing. Where I would then probably would have have I probably would have had like a conversation in my head with somebody, right? But my brain somehow has interpreted it that I had the conversation with the person. And then here is me on a different scenario, talking to the person and then making a reference to that conversation that we never had in real life.
oh, do you know that this is a sidebar? this is the side, this thing, maybe not necessarily what we're talking about. I remember that I was watching something on Instagram and somebody said that if you keep, the person was basically talking about affirmations and how
Okay.
if you keep saying something and you start believing it, it
Mhm.
your brain start believing that this is what's actually happening to you. So if you are
Yeah.
saying, let's say for example, oh, I know. So one of my affirmations basically is, God has given me power in my hands to make wealth. So I need I affirmation, yes, but do I tell myself every day? Not necessarily. But yes, it's one of my affirmations. Anyways, if I keep saying that thing every single time, I feel like so the guy on in the video was saying that it will catch up with your brain, that your brain will start believing it, and before you know it start actually happening in real time, like physically in your life. I just wanted to say it as a sidebar, basically.
Can I comment on that, please?
Yeah.
Because um, I actually agree. Also, this is a reminder to me to actually like become more diligent with my affirmations. Um, but I actually agree because the again the human mind is very very amazing.
He's very.
Um, so a scripture came to mind when you were talking, and it's not even like a scripture that directly talks about affirmation. So it's this scripture where it said, and David knew he was king, right? It's one of those one of those scriptures that I kind of like love so much because it was like it dawned on him, yeah, he was king. And this was several years after he was king. Like he's been king for more than 7 years, if not more. Right. And then he said, and David knew he was king. Like there is that point where the mind catches up to a particular thing. Now imagine if it was a scenario where he was then saying things about him being king prior to that, to actually becoming king. But at some point, his mind is like he has filled his entire body with that particular words, such that he has become it. So it catches up to him suddenly, and it just starts manifesting and just starts playing out. And I usually say, um, God through the channel of the universe is in a business of actually channeling things to individuals, right? And I feel like um one of my colleagues would usually say, I attract. I don't chase. I attract. Right?
Yeah, we heard that.
And
Yeah.
I feel like God through the universe basically channels things that you as an individual is being, you know, like what you are magnetizing or something. I don't know if that's the right use of that word, but yes, basically. It's how people see or start having like a fear of snakes. And then they are usually like the first people to notice it if such kind of thing is in the environment.
I kind of want to make another comment, but I feel like give me stats. We just divert from what we're actually talking about.
We would actually just be on the road and not matter.
So this is still all of this because really, I actually want to say something regarding the because that reminds me of when people start what they feared. You know how they say what they fear the most is what eventually start
What
happening to you.
happened to them?
Yes.
Yes. You're like your entire system has now been filled with that particular stuff that you start attracting it from the universe.
Ah, my God, is yeah. But as I said, we're not going into we're coming out.
Yeah, you're not going.
Yeah. I was gonna say that you started hearing voices when you're really small.
Yeah, like when I was like really, really like 12, 13, at least I could understand what was going on. In short, before then, I was already experiencing some things. Was at that point is when like I was more conscious of, huh, okay, I see what this is, or I was making sense of what it was.
I want to make a comment then I'll ask a question. I remember that going back to what I said earlier in the intro, I said something like it was when I feel like when I became 25, my frontal lobe actually fully developed, that the voice that I was hearing normally, it became so, I don't know, it's as if the frequency increased in my ear. So it became so high that it was actually affecting me as a person. Like I would be is I don't know how to explain this, as I said, weird ass shit. But it was as if I could not even hear my own thoughts. It was
Mm.
this was not even my own thoughts. It was more like I just kept hearing things that, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. Whether it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, but it just that I not for a minute I was like, God, I beg, what's happening inside my mind? I thought I'm going crazy. I'm serious. Like, and but now it has all gone down. I am able to hear my thoughts and all of that. So the question, that was just a comment. You can
Yeah.
comment on it or not. But the question I wanted to ask is why are we not able to sit still in a quiet place? There is always something that's going to be playing in the background. Um, for me, it's either my eater, I'm on a call with somebody, either I'm listening to a podcast or I'm playing music. There is just something in the background constantly in your ear. And I feel like it's not just a main thing. I've spoken to a lot of people that they can't sit quiet. So some of my friends, or one of my friends that I know particularly, if he's at home, he doesn't want to be at home. He will go out or he will play game. There's just something is always like we humans, we kind of like occupy ourselves to be so extra busy, or occupy our mind basically not to be calm or not to be quiet. Why is that? If you have any answer, I would love to hear because
I feel like I have the makings of an answer, right? It might not be an answer in itself. It might be an answer to some people and not be some others. Um, I'm just doing like a whole um arrangement in my head so that I can flow from one to the other. But first and foremost, I think the day and age we are in is a contributing factor because this era we are in is very busy. There is a whole lot of things going on at the same time, whether it's information being transmitted on various channels at the same time, or it's even finances being like moving around, right, across the world, or even people, right? So there is a lot going on, and it just feels like more and more keeps on happening. Like the rate at which that increases is just growing exponentially. And in that regards, someone who is born within this kind of system from a very young age, you're like very used to things always happening, right? Whether you are conscious of it or not conscious of it, truth of the matter is that at the background, something is always happening, right? So at the point where you become like very conscious of yourself, you just realize, huh, this is your normal. Like, this is actually your normal. Things are always supposed to be happening. You cannot think of anything aside that. You cannot find yourself in a situation that is different from what you've already grown up used to or what you've developed as a behavioral pattern or habit. Things should always be happening. Right. However, if you look back, and again, I'm going to reference like the Bible, right? So there was this stuff that came to my mind right when you were asking the question about how it was written that Abraham was, I think Abraham or even Isaac too. Think about how they were sitting under a tree in the cool of the day or in like in the middle of the day basically, and just there. And I'm like, these people did not have phones. These people did not have so many people just walking up to come and visit them, right? So they had to learn to be with themselves. They were in a situation whereby a whole lot was not happening at the same time, right? They could just sit down in a place for hours, right? Just pondering on
But you don't
stuff.
even have to go towards Abraham. Well, I know it's the Bible, but like I feel like I did not grow up in a very rich household. When I was little, at some point when guys we are Nigerians, never take lights in our area, in our country. When I was little and there's no lights, everybody will come outside, sit down on the mat, and you're just feeling the breeze. Maybe there are some kids that will be singing some random song that they've learned in school, but everybody's just outside.
Yeah, but you see, the difference in that is the adults are literally just sitting down and they're just cool and fine, right? But the
Mhm.
kids were active. In short, it was even encouraged for the kids to be active. If a child in that moment just goes and sit down, what will happen? The adults will say, what's wrong with you? What is going on? Are you fine? They'll try to encourage the child to join his peers or just to be active, basically.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, it becomes a habit that we have grown up with, right? It's why at some point, like very early on, earlier on I talked about how at some point I had to like streamline voices, right? And basically group them and stuff. The entire process was not like some conscious process where I went, all right, voices now be
Yeah.
grouped,
That would be weird, actually.
right? It doesn't like I woke up one day and I was like, yes, you have bent to my will now, stuff like that. No, it was actually me taking a cue from this stuff I talked about with Abraham and actually trying to attempt some form of meditation. So I remember as at SS3, I think. SS3, yeah, sorry, in SS3. No, SS2. Think using my mom's phone or something. I'm not sure I had a phone yet at that point. I think I got my own phone at that SS3. Then but using my mom's device, I had Enya on it. I downloaded Enya, right? And I would just lay down with Enya playing, put it away from it in a distance so that it's kind of acts like ambient sound in a way, and actually just be silent there, right? The idea was to, for me, my process was like just imagine blank space. Yeah, the moment I'm trying to see pictures, like I consciously go back to imagine a blank space and just try to be there while all Enya songs are playing, right? I would have queued them up or something and just playing because again, Enya has like that whole thingy, that flow. That way it helped. I feel like it helped my brain to then slow down to now move at that kind of Enya's metronome frequency and just slowly regulate itself so that it does not become overly, because I'm hyperactive. I'm a very, very hyperactive individual. And that became the kind of like help that I needed. And over time, I would then choose the thing I want to imagine. So not just like blank space, but then like, okay, picturing so and so thing, like creating like a kind of, imagine creating like a kind of library in your mind consciously and just going, all right, a library. But what is in the library? Shelves, right? Okay, what if we just first have a large room until I can like hold that image in my mind for like a long time with all its details and everything. See, doing all that again, sometimes when I think back, it's like, how did I even come across this kind of knowledge to be able to like attempt to doing all that basically kind of like grounded grounded my mind space, and I would say made my mind to a large extent want to follow my own will and be like, all right, Harley, we hear you. We hear you. You still do their own things every now and then. They still introduce their own things, you know, by making me to probably hate drinking cold water, for instance, or banning me from taking sweets. And yes, these are like real life situations from when I was young, right? But in the end, because I could now, even without any music, activate a process of slowing down my mind or just actively calming down, right? And having my mind or my brain, kind of like flow at a metronome beat or something. I feel like that in itself kind of like helped. And over time, the same way I was able to probably like hold a library space. Well, in my situation, I did more of like a computers and folders in my head. In the same way, I was able to like hold those images for a while in my head. Was the same way I was then able to go, all right, these voices have like themes. They can be grouped. So here and here and here, just trying to like hold that image, like, okay, I accept it, right? Because most times we try to reject those voices because again, they sound very bizarre. You can have the most random suggestions that just pop up in your head, like,
Yes.
I should,
Guys,
I should
I
do,
cannot
I like,
open my mouth to say the things that goes on inside my head. I cannot. Like, if I start saying it, people will be like, Bukola, what is wrong? Are you mentally okay?
I don't know if you remember me saying this, but then when we worked together, there's something I had mentioned one time in conversation at the office where I went, I don't think people will be able to survive if I took them on a tour in my mind. Like, if you could enter my mind and you had to go around and we are like, oh yeah, over here is when I don't think people will survive it because they'll just be like, what is this place? Right. But but Paul said, but the spirit of the Lord holds us.
Guy, he really does hold us because I don't know if he has not held me or he's still not holding me. I don't know I would have been. But there was something that you mentioned basically of how you, and that's in fact that was like one of the most interesting things in everything that you said that I picked, which is how I wish, seriously, there are sometimes I wish that a lot of people have just told us things, or our parents were, I don't want to say our parents because it's like every small claim we just put our parents on it on that. But I just wish that there was some sort of, maybe even school, where there was a way that you could train your mind. Because the truth is, you can actually train your mind to do your own what you want. Like, you can train your mind to think a particular way. You can train your mind to do a particular thing. Like, all these random thoughts, you can train it that they will stop. Like, all these things that just come randomly. There's a way you train your mind. And I know that the Bible says guide your heart. But I don't know whether mind and heart is the same, but I just feel like there's a way that you can be so intentional in what's coming to your mind, your space, your soul, and whatnot, that you'll be like, okay, this is the way I want to be thinking. Maybe you want to be thinking like, oh, you have money. Though I need money in my account. And then any small example is money.
It's valid.
Well, basically, or like, basically, I just wish that from small, I didn't knew. And it's pretty interesting what you said because, as you said, I don't even know whether you got who told you how you can train your mind from this particular thought or that particular. It's very interesting that you're able to do that at a young age, and it's not like you were like in your 20s when you were doing that. That's beautiful. But me, I did not know. Nobody told me that. Okay, because I sit still, calm down. You can train your mind. You can do. Nobody told me all of those things, and it's obviously these are things I obviously would train my kids. But now as I'm still an adult, and yes, I can do it. But I feel like it's just going to take more intentionality
Yeah,
right now.
it's actually different because right now your mind is actually more active in terms of you have more things to be concerned about. So in the moment where you are going, all right, let me just stay still and just do this. You now receive call that, oh, you need to do it or you need to do that. And you're like, yeah, sitting down still in the mud. But
All right. Yeah.
and it's the reason why sometimes I'm like, aside the fact that I'm grateful for some experiences, I'm also grateful for people who have the privilege to have some experiences. And here's what I mean. Because as much as we necessarily don't have the experience of, oh, people telling us this and that when we're younger and all that, there are some people who actually also have that experience where either their parents or someone older than them or even their peers actually like told them things or like was able to guide them in that regards. And they're awesome for it. I remember a scenario where um I had like friends then, and we kind of like talked about some things regarding the mind. This was like probably me in SS3, right? And they were experiencing similar stuff that I was experiencing. Not all my friends were. Just there were just especially this particular two that comes to mind right now. They're experiencing it, and in short, they knew people too that had similar experiences too from their school,
Okay.
right? So it became like a thing of at that point, like, oh, so I did this and here is the outcome. And they're like, interesting. Oh, me, I was more interested in so and so thing and so and so thing. I mean, I heard about how some people were using it to actually like improve on their academics and
Really?
stuff, like really like store large amounts of information in their mind and like interesting stuff that you just be like, oh wow, that is interesting. So you meet this person in school, for instance, and in your mind you're like, this guy is a genius, like the wealth of information. But you behind the scenes, you're not aware that there's a way this guy is utilizing his mind that is just different. It's not just about he reads and remembers. No, like he's at a point where his mind is just different. For me, that I was having this same experience. I was not utilizing it in that regards, right? Yes, my level of understanding too was growing because it means I was processing information a little bit differently and seeing things. For me, I always enjoy trying to see like the bigger picture. So I always try for any little thing. I want to like see all around it. Like what is the bigger picture of this? How does this apply in the larger scheme and stuff? So that was my approach. But then for other people that had a different approach, it's like, that is fun. The fact that you can do that tells me there is more possibilities. And so in a way, you start believing in your abilities, right? And be like, oh, yeah, there's more possibilities of things that can happen. And I think that that in itself becomes like the core idea. Because most times when people have like thoughts that arise or voices that speak, and please remind me in this conversation, I want to talk about this whole thing of voices in the head and how like people will be like, but then it's not my thoughts kind of thing, right? So when people have like voices in their heads that pop up and thing, m- many a times our first instinct is to just reject it, right? And to just like shun it or try to jettison it out of our minds. right? And I'll say I've learned that the way the human brain works, the more you try to forget about something, the more you remember. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay. There's some people that say that they've gotten like some trauma and they've just lock up. Maybe that's
Oh,
different, yeah.
trauma forgetting is different.
Yeah.
Trauma forgetting is eh, let's not even enter that stuff because I remember a friend then one acquaintance, I don't know, that had this whole trauma forgetting and then it made her to start forgetting other things. So because she forgot, like she wanted to like forget that particular stuff,
Yeah.
right? Other memories that were kind of like associated. And when I say other memories, I don't mean like the thing that brought her trauma, like things that were not traumatic but were from that period. She also forgot. Yeah, like, trauma forgetting is that's like another topic. If well, imagine you tasted something that you did not like, for instance, right? And you're like, nah, I need to forget this taste,
Yeah.
right? Because at that point, your mind is not looking at it as a negative forgetting. It's looking at it as you're bringing the memory of this taste to the foreground or to the forefront, right? So it's like saying, "Oh, do not think of a black gate," and then you imagine a black gate.
Or because you wanted to imagine a blanket.
Because the way your brain is interpreting it's not interpreting it in adverbs and adjectives. It's interpreting it in verbs and noun, right? It's hearing think and it's hearing gate and it's hearing a description of the gate specifically that gate, right? The do not, the negative part of it, it's not hearing it one bit, right? And I feel like that's what happens most times when people get thoughts in their head and then they try to like push it aside. They try to
Oh,
consciously, yeah, like consciously pushing it aside. Note I said consciously, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pushing it aside. The reason I said that is because I'm going to come back to that later on. So they're pushing it aside consciously, but then it's like it's either it's not going or more is just coming up. It's like and then it starts getting louder, and then it starts becoming like Eminem. Eminem, is it Eminem? Is Eminem now, right? I think it's Eminem.
Song.
No, no, right? It's a song, Sha, where it goes, "It's so loud inside my head." Yeah. So it starts becoming like that and becomes so loud. And it's like and then suddenly people just want to like do something, either get into a vice or just do something to just drown out.
Oh my god. I feel like there are a lot of topics you're just touching on. Like taking a lot of like I'm serious, like because I remember that so I usually write things down or
Yeah.
things that like things I would like to discuss or talk about or whatnot. And I remember writing oh um what are the things that other people do to forget things or not to think about things. And I feel like this topic is very broad and can go to different lengths because I have another question that just coming up in my head. That okay, so where does this thought come from in my head?
Oh, that was actually where I was going to next.
Where does this thought come from?
Oh,
But before that, like we're going to go back to that. Let me just so I remember writing that, oh, I feel like for me, if I don't want to think about any of these thoughts, instead of other people, I know that other people would drink, they smoke, some people go have sex. Me, I watch movie, I sleep, and I listen to podcast. Those three things are my own vices. They are not
mhm.
bad vices, but when you do them there are sometimes I will watch movie, I will be having headache. I don't care. I'll keep watching that movie. Like just so that I don't go back
Like
to my
you're
own
not doing it at
reality.
the expense of your health and even your sanity.
Do you get? Just so that I don't go back to my own reality. I want to watch that movie. I love their reality. I love how the movie is making me feel. And that's fine by me right now. But to go back to my own reality of, oh, I'm looking for this. Oh, I don't have this. I don't want to. So let me just stay in this reality of love. And I feel like that's what K drama is doing to most people. No offense. Yeah. No offense to people that watch K drama, but to be honest, that is it. So,
And you're quite right, okay, in a sense that if one is not careful, the possibility of actually foregoing, you know, um, like I said earlier, on your health and even sanity, it's quite high because again, you're fight. There's something you're looking for. You're looking for peace, calm, and love, right? But there is a general fear that alone it will not come up that way. All you just be hearing is, especially like if it's now like voices that are very, I know that situation whereby you're just alone by yourself, and for whatever reason, your mind chooses to laugh at you. Like you can vividly hear the laugh.
yes. Yeah, sometimes but I want to do something and my mom be like, are you sure? Like so then I say, God, I see a guy. She said, then I will open my mouth and say, I cast and bind you in the name of Jesus.
See, so which then brings us to like, where do these voices come from? Right, because um, one of the reasons why a lot of people try to jettison those thoughts, and let me even go back a bit. Why did they try to jettison it is because of again, it's loud, sometimes annoying, and there's many things. But in my belief system, I feel like number one, acknowledging them and accepting does not mean agreeing, by the way, right? So acknowledge and accept. I'm not saying agree. Don't go into the third phase of agreeing, right? Just acknowledge it and accept. It's just like, when you are like having a kind of banter or conversation with someone, right? And you have different opinions towards a particular thing.
Yeah.
And then from what the person is saying with their own facts and with whatever experiences they've garnered and stuff, you're like, oh, okay. You acknowledge it, right? Again, for people that argue maturely,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
right? So you acknowledge it that, oh, okay, I see what you're saying and I get where you're speaking from. Like you can actually vividly see it, right? So acknowledging it, right? Doesn't if you're acknowledging it, it does not mean you're accepting it. Because you can then say, I then still think that this is this and this is this because of this fact and that fact, right? So I acknowledge you, but I'm not accepting you, right? And I'm not um going to go whatever you're saying. So it's the same thing that I feel like people need to do. You need to be able to like acknowledge his thoughts, right? And then the acceptance is basically accepting that for whatever reason you found your way to my mind, right? So you're here. It means there's a channel that links to you. Does that make sense? Right? So if the channel leads to you, that's on me. It's really not on you. It's more of me, right? Because if it was not on you, then we would all be thinking the same thing at this exact moment, right? So whatever thing that is making me to get you is me. It's not you, kind of stuff, right? Now that does not now mean that you do not have to agree with them. But then when in as much as you do the first two, it becomes easy to then direct, right? If I'm the picture in my head is this um these dogs that are used to like guide sheep into like their pens and stuff, right? If for whatever reason the dogs don't do a good job, because there's a way, if you've ever watched those stuff when they're trying to like guide the sheep into their holding pens and all this kind of stuff, and you see how the dogs will run around to one side as the sheep are trying to go to one side, they run around to another side. just to ensure that they follow the path that is set for them, right? And these are ships that have their own instincts and have their own stuff, but then they're able to be, depending on how guide them, they're able to like fulfill the thing that you want them to fulfill. And the same thing that you can do to your thoughts, right? Um, Either if for Christians, there are several scriptures that alludes to, being able to channel your thoughts in terms of either guard your heart with Lord diligence or stuff like that. But we are not fully going into that. I'm going to just speak generally. There are ways you actually, how do I describe it? There are ways you, when there are ways, yeah, the word is not ways. I would just say when the thoughts come and you've acknowledged what they are for what they are, you you then go, okay, here is the purpose of you. You assign a task immediately to the thoughts. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So imagine the thought that just came to your mind, for instance, was go and eat pounded yam. Unprovoked, for instance, right? But you don't want to. Maybe your doctor told you recently not to eat pounded yam. But this is a nagging thought in your head. The question now is, so what do you do? Like, I acknowledge it. Yes. The fact that I want to eat pounded yam is because it's a craving. Consciously, I am aware that I would like to. It's really well. So that's a good thing. Enter my to-do lists. By the time I'm probably clear of this, I'll reward myself with so and so thing on so and so day. Or you now be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to give myself a cheat day. But for this cheat day to happen, this thing that I'm trying to achieve or that I'm working towards, I'm going to go all in. And when it is done, or when I get this particular thing, I'm going to just have that cheat day and just take a little. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So you are basically like giving the thoughts an assignment. Obviously, it does not have to be so the assignment does not have to be so profound, like I just said right now. Right? It can just be you renaming what that thought is and saying, be like, that's interesting. Or laughing at it and be like, nah, that is good comedy. But that's actually good imagination. Or, just randomly having, like if you have somebody in your life that you can you can tell random thoughts or ask random questions, just reaching out to the person and be like, and just jokingly talking about, like, imagine so thing, right? And just getting a good laugh out of it. You can find a tax to it. You've now made that thought to become tangible. And the tangibility you've given to it is probably comedy or irrelevance or something else. Now it has no.
I want us to take a tiny bit further, even if we are wrapping up soon. Just a tiny bit further before we wrap up. Very good. The tiny bit further is what if is dark thoughts? Dark thoughts in terms of one thing that just came to my mind is what if somebody says go and steal? But I don't want to say go and steal because everybody be like, I'm too big to steal. Yes, fine. What if is more of but there's some people that are going what's the word? They are tackling that aspect. Well, let me even bring it. What if is envy in a sense of where we've had a lot of people that'll say, oh, my friend betrayed me, my friend did this to me, my friend did that to me. And let's not lie, before anybody takes an action, maybe the person wants to betray somebody. It starts from a thought. From
Yeah.
it starts
So
from
I,
the
I
mind.
remember I remember someone once said something to me, a friend of mine several years ago. The person said thoughts are no, not thoughts. Envy. Yeah, talking about envy. Envy is basically love. And I remember my first reaction was, huh? And then he goes, envy is born out of love, but love that has been derailed or corrupted in a particular way. Corrupted was only what he used. There's a word he used that is not coming to mind. But basically, why do people envy? Is because there's something that they see that they like and would love if that happened to them, right?
Yeah.
But then this thing will then feel a certain level of um, whether it's inferiority complex or inadequacy or whatever it is on a subconscious level that they're not even conscious of, to then feel like that person is not worth that thing that they love that is happening to them. So this thing that they are seeing, that they are envious of, that person that they are envious of is not worth that stuff happening to them. It ought to be them because they have all that it takes. It might look like, oh, inflated self-esteem, but no, it's actually the opposite. Actually a low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Well, again, another detail for probably another time, to be honest. Um, so someone is having an envious thought. What do you do? Again, I'm not a professional psychologist, so I cannot, I cannot tell you. All right, so here's what you do: A, B, and C. But um, my own mantra when those kind of thoughts creep in. For instance, I see maybe people that I know in positions or places that I would love if that was me in that position. I would love if those experiences were my experiences, right? The first thing that I do is I go, yeah, that would actually be cool. And I'm like, ah, but what can I do for them? Because in the end, it's like these people can still um make me achieve those experiences. Because the truth of the matter is, and which is like the other part of understanding, knowing that someone who is up there can literally like reach out and shake your hand and pull you up,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
Becomes it is a good mindset to imbibe. And most times people are not conscious of it. They just feel, oh, people know they help kind of stuff. True, but also not true. It might not be that person that you know that is going to help. And then it might not be that person that you're interacting with that is going to help. But it's like, okay, what can you do for this person? Like in terms of celebrating where that person has gotten to. In short, celebrate it to the point whereby the person is like, what do you want? Right? And the what you want might not be like, oh, them willing to help. Because yes, a lot of people gatekeep information, right? But just trying to be happy with whatever the person is doing or whatever experience the person is happy. Like excited about it, like telling other people about it, like, oh, I know this person that did so and so thing. And then like just like directing people to them. The truth of the matter is over time, and it may not be a long time, it might be a very, very short time. The consciousness of envy kind of like fades away because you've consciously developed a habit of actually celebrating people. And you have a habit of celebrating people. It's quite difficult to feel envious of people. It's quite difficult. Again, conscious efforts. It's are you willing to do the work?
That's the
It's like,
thing.
are you actually
Actually.
willing to do that work? Like whatever it is, are you willing to actually like take that step and go, I'm just going to celebrate people. In the end, people will not help, right? It's fine. There's nothing you do or don't do that will change that, right? So what is the point? I can choose to celebrate them.
It's funny how I remember there was one post on Instagram that I saw that the lady wrote, "Oh, um, one of our friend is very rich, I think has money and all of that. She's blocking because of where she is right now. She cannot afford the things that her friend like can afford. So she wants to
Yeah.
block the her friend's status or block her friend basically so that she doesn't see because she's jealous and she doesn't want to start thinking bad about the friend. So she wants to block everything regarding that friend so that she can guide her out. And a lot of people are like, oh, is that the right thing to do? And some people are like, oh, maybe that's like a right decision. Me, I don't even know, to be honest. Me, I'm in the aspect of anything that will make you happy at the end of the day.
Anything that helps you, anything that helps you. Because this thing you said reminded me of then when I used to um work in an animation studio. Um, I had colleagues, artists, awesome guys that avoids going to Instagram and even sometimes Pinterest.
Mhm.
On the norms, you'll be like, these are places for inspiration Mm. But they actually hated it. Why did they hate it? Because there's a way they felt when they like see like people that actually like do things um, on a particular level and standard. People that are maybe can draw or create digital art or animate far better than them. Like when they see that stuff, there's a way they feel. So they started avoiding it. Were they good? Yes. Were they growing? Yes. But in order to have like a certain kind of peace of mind, they're like, you know what, it's just better to upgrade. So if
Because
that's
that's where you keep asking yourself, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Or am I not good enough?
like is there actually any point in actually doing this thing that
Yeah.
I'm doing? Right. And you know, and another realization sometimes that I think, like for me, I said earlier on that sometimes I try to see a bigger picture or try to imagine a bigger picture, right? If I cannot see it. Um, the truth of the matter is because our experiences are not other people's experiences, we usually do not have all the information.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean that, oh, it means that that one person is doing one devious thing. No, no, not at all. What I mean is you do not know the kind of networks that this person has been privileged to walk into, and somebody just taught them and just took a liking to them and took them under their wings to guide them, right? You do not know the kind of information that this person happened upon, either by research, maybe they're even researching something else, or researching on that thing or whatever. And then they have like information that they tried and even failed before they succeeded. So because I don't have all the information as to how that person achieved and got to the place that they are at right now, it means I have not done these things because whatever information the person have or whatever thing that person has become, there's a result of certain actions that led up to that point. Now, if I did not take those exact actions, why should I feel envious of the person? Right? And this is my own kind of thinking. It's just you just have to find your own rationalizing of things. But like I said before, if you actually choose to celebrate people, you actually can never become envious of people. It will be very, very difficult. Very difficult. Right. And if you take it a notch higher by then always seeking to assist people, and sure that's something that it will really cross your mind. Even when it comes, you'll be very like it will be very easy to spot it. Because these are thoughts that creep in, right? Where do they creep in from? I think that is the next thing we should enter. Where do these thoughts come from? The way I try to look at it, I kind of like divide it into three things. I would usually say you have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind, right? Our conscious mind is, what you see, hear, love, sha, the part of your mind that you're conscious of, like you know what is going on. You're involved in the flow of information that is in that sphere, right? Your subconscious mind tends to like happen in the background. You know how like maybe you're posed with a kind of like challenge or something that you're trying to figure out in your mind, but you're not actively thinking of it. You're doing other things and carrying on with your life. And then suddenly, randomly, at some points, maybe you're cooking. And again, you're not thinking of this thing, but the solution for that thing just comes to your head, like comes to your conscious mind, like, yes, this is it. This is actually like the solution. You know, it's because, and somewhere you'll be like, yeah, I think at the back of my head, I knew that I was still thinking of this stuff. I was not consciously thinking of it, though, but it was happening at the back of my head, the subconscious mind, right? In your unconscious mind, the way I try to look at it is the collection of a whole lot of things that you are not aware is happening. Number one, we we are connected like a network, and I mean like human beings, right, with each other across the world, right? It's the reason why you would be in a place sometimes and you are thinking of something or a song is playing in your head
Yeah.
and you blurt out and somebody says, that's the song that is on my mind,
Yeah.
right? So we are connected on a certain scale. We are connected at various levels, both in an unconscious plane, in the plane of radio waves or mental waves, as I would like to refer to it. And please forgive me, some of these words that might not be scientifically like correct or proven, but it's how I describe it for me to like have a tangible form of it, to be able to tangibly hold it in my mind. So because we are connected, there's information flying around that you're not aware of, right? It's why somebody in Lagos, Abuja has an idea to develop an app that does XYZ. And then another person that has not interacted with any of the people that this guy knows
Mhm.
is somewhere in the UK probably, and he wants to develop XYZ. Same thing.
That's why they say there's no new no, it's not even that or no like
No,
no new idea or something. Like
that there is because it's all flowing. It's all flowing somewhere. And then if truthfully, the way I try to reason it is like if you actually want to trace that stuff, yeah, if you actually want to trace it, somebody somewhere, probably in the US, yeah, thought about, wouldn't it be nice if there was something that does XYZ?
yeah.
I don't know if it has ever happened to you where it has happened to me a lot, especially for WhatsApp and even like for some other technology that's were innovated, where like several years ago, I probably just thought, hi, it would be nice if so and so thing actually like existed or happened. And then maybe 2 years down the line, I'm seeing that it now exists. And hey, yeah, I thought about that stuff, right? But I don't have the money to execute it, right? I don't have the resources to bring those imaginations at the moment to life. But somebody somewhere has the technical know-how and has access to the resources to be able to bring them to reality, right? But then everything is flowing because it's happening on a particular plane. We are all connected to, let's call it like a human hive mind, so to say, that 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 transmits information from one person to another or through all human beings, right? So these are where thoughts come from, right? They come from your consciousness because of multitude of businesses, maybe things that are happening to you in real life, things that worry you, things you're concerned about and stuff, or things that you want to do, things I would say things I want to do you know, basically all of that, right? You're conscious, right? That's now layered with things that are happening in your subconscious, you know, um, things that are things that are happening based off information that you are not actively conscious of. Because it's not just about, oh, you have something and your mind is working on it behind the scenes. Is like you walk through a place. Right? Imagine you were walking through a city center, right? Science has told us how that your your brain captures all the information, but your mind focuses on the one that you are conscious of or concerned about. So that person that passed you to your left or to your right, that you do not necessarily look at their face consciously or zoom in on their face, right? Your brain actually saw it in its detail, but because you're not conscious of it, right? It is just information that is jettisoned, it's just put on its side. But then that's information nonetheless. And those are the kind of informations that happen in your subconscious, right? And personally, I feel like females are able to process things in subconscious more than men. It's probably the reason why females also might actually experience more voice hearing than men, in my opinion. Again, I do not know this because I am not female, but I just assume based on the other science um inference that I have come across. So with all this information, things are happening in your subconscious mind. It's processing information, processing things that you do not even know exists. It has seen something that you did not know exists. And then imagine it then poses the question regarding that thing that it has noticed that again you are not conscious of. In your head, you're not wondering, huh? What? Where is this thought coming from? Right? But it's an observation. It's something born out of some subconscious observation that has happened. Maybe a conversation that you passed through. Maybe you're somewhere and then the conversation was happening inside, but you're not conscious of that conversation. But it has registered in your mind, sort of. Right? Things like that. Or is it from the unconscious where like informations are flying and somebody has thought about something randomly somewhere and then it comes to your mind. There's situations whereby I've thought about things and I'll be like, yep, I know this is not me.
Yeah.
I know this is not me. And a lot of times when that happens, like maybe I'm talking to somebody, as we're talking right now. Because as we're talking right now, there's a particular connection that then happens with our mind, right? Where it actually helps in human conversation and anticipation during the conversation. So I feel like I'm suddenly talking like a super nerd.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I did not expect that I would be able to talk this much about this matter, to be honest. Because I was like, what do I know?
I know that you know. That's why I told him. If the truth is, I actually wrote one topic first, but I woke up this morning randomly. Yeah, I'm actually been wanting to just calm down and really think about what we needed to discuss. And I knew I had some topics, but I didn't. I just felt like they were not you. I don't know how to explain it. I just, I just obviously we would have good conversation about it. That's the truth. I trust you on that. But I just feel like it's not in my head. It's not. It's not. I don't know. It's not. Connect you know that it's not done well. Like it is done, but it's not done well.
That's what you were saying.
Anything that I when I just when this word just came, I was like, this is the person. This is Harry. It's definitely Ali. There's nothing. No one else can take this from Ali. But yeah, I want to say, just putting it out there, guys. Any thought that is not dirty, whether you know where it come from, you don't know where it come from, that father, you say, I bind you in the name of Jesus. If you follow Jesus, really,
Basically, bind it up, use rope.
bind it to bind it. We cannot begin any thoughts, either suicidal thoughts, either failure thoughts, either disappointed. We don't want.
That then reminds me, please. Thank you for even like saying that. Um, so in physics, when I was in secondary school, is a principle that we learned, which is the law of superimposition. Right? It's when one physics law basically trumps over another physics law, and not Donald, yeah, but trumps. Um,
I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there.
so
Nice.
think about how there's gravity,
Mm-hmm.
and gravity basically the long and short of it is, bro, if you go up
Yeah.
away from the ground, you're gonna be pulled back down, right?
Yeah.
That's gravity, long and short. However, planes fly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why? Because of the law, is a superimposed law, which is the law of lifts. And the law of lifts basically is, if you are traveling at a particular speed, right? uh, Because of air resistance, you would be able to like lift off the ground, basically.
Yeah.
That's like the, again, this is me giving a very, very half-assed um definition.
But
Please,
actually, I
don't come
but
for me.
I actually understand what
Right.
you're saying. Yeah.
So that is law of lift. So the law of lift superimposes on the law of gravity
Mm-hmm.
for planes to fly, right? And it's the same thing in what you said. So if a thought comes that, the one that needs you to go all BDSM on them, tie them up and shit. Basically, you're going to superimpose on that thought. For instance, turn this stone into bread, and then Jesus goes, "It is written,
Yeah.
man cannot live by bread alone." That was superimposition. Again, that was also giving the thoughts an assignment.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's like, oh yeah, of course, turning the stone to bread is actually good. So the thought is not necessarily, quote unquote, rejected, because he did not say, "Oh no, I cannot be thinking about that right now."
Yeah.
That's not his response. He doesn't say, "Going away from my head, going away from my head." Oh, yeah, leave. That's what his response was, basically superimposition, basically going, "Huh, man shall not live by bread alone." By doing that, suddenly the wanton desire for bread does not become a thing again. The wanton desire to turn the stone into bread is not a thing again, because there's now a superimposed law that is saying bread is not that important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not that deep. You don't have to have bread
Not
right
that
now.
deep. Yeah, I don't have to have this bread right now. There are other things like I could be having rather than bread.
Yeah.
You get? So yes, thank you again for helping me to remember that.
So, guys, this has been a very interesting conversation. I'd say I cannot believe how much I've learned. Yeah. There are things that I'm definitely going to go and be putting in place in my head because this mind, you have to hear word. I don't even care. I don't even care. It has to hear word. But yeah, thank you so much, Harley, for coming in. But before we go,
Thank you.
we are wrapping up. We're not wrapping up yet. Small, 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 small. So what we do a segment where you give us old music, basically throwback music or music you enjoyed or loved or did not like, whatever. Just throwback music of something you throwback. 1999, 1997, whatever throwback, but throwback basically, or what throwback means to you. Just give us max two songs. You can give one, you can give two, anyone. So, do you have any song in mind? I know I did not tell you this beforehand. Sorry about that, but
I'm actually taking to know this. So the this thing is not the particular song. The title is not coming to mind though. I just remember a line from the song.
okay.
But I think it's Mi Brimo and people from Chocolate City Sha, but Mi Brimo. Um, so it had like this. I would like to take you for a ride. Oh, well, hit the wow, take it to the sky. Wow, to see. Yeah, action. Yeah, yes, it's action. Action film. Sorry, actor for this action. Yeah. So there's that. As for the second song, so when you're talking this song, the song that crossed my mind was "You Don't Hit My Car." Correct, right there. But that that is just is there as like I don't know funny songs that I remember from childhood.
So the
Yeah.
next one is not my car. Do you know what? I think what I'll start doing is I'll be creating all these. I'll create all these songs that I'm putting out weekly. I'll put it
Yeah.
under a playlist and share it.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, that'd be very cool.
Like people are listening to it. Anyways, my own song for the week would be I have it somewhere here. Is that let me see. Can I remember? Oh yes. So for some reason, I don't know, I'm feeling loving song this night. This night. So there's this, I don't know. My dad is a bit weird. He's a quiet person, but there are some songs that I don't know. We were not listening. We listened to Redeemed Church song once in a while, but there was one song, some country songs that my dad usually listened to. Weird. So I remember that, and a one of the songs that I really liked was "Phil" by Collins, which is it's "This Must Be Love." So it sounds like this must be love. Oh, this must be love. I'm where I could stand, do that I could do. You must be the dream I've been dreaming of. Oh, what a feeling! It must be love. Anyways, this must be love by Phil Collins. The second one is a bit Raz. Is it Raz? Mm, can I remember? I think the second one is Okpomulero, Okpomulero, Okpomulero. Down, down, say I be. Okay, it's not Ransha, but you know everybody did Okpomulero.
But by the way, so by then when I said, "Oh, I know that one," my head then goes, "Huh, sang Phil Collins." He did not say you know that one, no. Say, what does that say about you? I promise, guys. I actually listening to
No, that
the song outside the electricity.
no. So the thing is, naturally, even if I did grow up, if my dad didn't have that playlist or whatnot, I would not know that song. That song is too it's too random for me to even know it. Let me not lie. It's not in my journal or anything that so I that's the only song I've liked. Well, okay, that album basically, that's the only song I've actually liked. I've not gone out of my way to say, oh, I want to listen to country music, please. I'm not doing that when I have Afro beats to listen to. Anyways, but yes, we'll come to the end of this episode. But guys, I really, 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 really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much, Ali, for coming.
For having me.
Thank you. I'm so happy right now, guys. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So happy. See, if you listen to the end, clap for yourself. Because this is the first episode that we're running into almost 2 hours. Ah, most of our episodes is max 30 minutes, max. So you see when I told you that, oh, maybe 1 hour 30 minutes, that, and that 1 hour 30 minutes was maybe from the beginning when we were still doing the whole minimal conversation. But yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Thank you so much, Harley. I know I've taken so much of your time. I know I've taken part of your nights, but I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So guys, that's the end of the episode basically. See you next week. But yeah, ciao. Clack it. And any thoughts that come your way that you don't like, say I can't stand by you. Okay, I'll try.